Welcome to another St. By Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the St. By Night Twitch channel where we play St. Petersburg By Night, a massive multiplayer World of Darkness 5th edition chronicle set in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Michikent on all social media. I am the lead storyteller of St. Pete By Night and the storyteller of tonight's chronicle, Rage Across Tampa, a Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle. I am so proud and pleased to say that this is the 22nd episode of this chronicle, and who knew we were going to make it this far? I can tell you, with such an amazing group of players, I couldn't be happier. It is my favorite game of all time that I've ever had the pleasure to run within 25 years of storytelling, and I'm excited for us to continue this story here tonight. That being said, let's talk to our players and let them introduce themselves. Players, say hello.
Hey everybody, my name's Preston. I play Aiden Goodspeed, the Rune of the Gale Stalkers.
Hi everybody, I'm Champ, Champagne, Hormone Monstrous, because I don't wear deodorant and I only take bubble baths, whatever you want to call me, and I'll be playing Aspen Weiss, Phylodox of the Silverfangs.
Hey everybody, I'm Nori, and I will be playing Malicious Jester, the Black Fury Galliard.
Unfortunately, our Ghost Council Theurge, Joseph Ashspeaker, also known as Simon, couldn't join us tonight, but we will carry on in his stead. Last week, a lot happened. Aspen had to deal with the fallout of the news of the loss of Rachel. Aiden and Joseph bore witness to the first change of Terrance, an unexpected affair that happened in the middle of the woods after Aiden and Joseph encountered some poachers that were hunting illegally within the state park. Needless to say, the poachers were dealt with in a very violent and bloody manner, but based off of recent news reports, there aren't any suspicions pointed at anything supernatural having led to the issue. Jester also went to the motorcycle club formerly belonging to Ryder and started to uncover bits and pieces of his past after informing his fellow bikers of the circumstances, or at least the necessary details of his sudden departure from the land of the living. Now it's the next day after Terrance's, or the same day, I should say, after Terrance's first change, when Aiden goes ahead and reaches out to Aspen, having made his transition back to his Hamid form, with Terrance still trotting alongside him in a wolf form, his tail wagging happily and his tongue lolling out of his mouth. That is where we will begin our story tonight. So, Aiden, you put in a call to Aspen. The scene is yours.
Hey, I got updates.
Okay, great.
He'll kind of look down towards Terrance, like, how do you feel about another dog?
In what respect?
Uh, he'll kind of look around and see if there's anyone still nearby, or if he can like kind of talk a little more freely.
Joseph said he had to head off to inform Eliza and start making preparations for all of this. But no, you are still in a nice secluded area away from any onlookers at the moment.
He'll take a quick look, and then I can talk. So went on a hunt with Joseph. Some things happened. Don't worry, it's been taken care of. But the big thing, Terrance was here. So Joseph and I went and said hello, but we were in our lupus form. Kind of took him a little bit deeper into the woods. I may have revealed myself, and that scared him. And then I had Joseph show who he was, and Terrance took off as a wolf in further into Lettuce Lake. Don't worry, I got him. He's right here. I don't know what you want me to do at this point.
Aspen, you hear a bark, or the equivalent of a bark, come from the other side of the phone.
I'll tell you. He says hello.
Okay, hello. Well, have you talked to him about it since? Have you said anything to him? Or is he just kind of lolling around in that state?
Uh, I don't know if he knows how to go back yet, so he's been just his uh wolf-like self. So no, I haven't really told him much of anything.
It's a great start. That's a great start, Aiden.
Hey, I got him here, all right? Like, we got another one. I did my job. I kinned and I seeked.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, I mean, it's better than the alternative. That's absolutely for sure. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about there then. So not talking to him, do you have any thoughts of what you want to do?
I think we need to get the pack together. I think he needs to meet everyone, be able to associate the different faces and stuff. Know that there's not just me and Joseph, that there is a whole group wanting to help him get through this.
And you told him that, yes?
Yep.
Okay, good. It's a good start. Yeah, we'll definitely have to all get together and introduce ourselves and kind of have some really serious conversations. So you might want to let him know that those are coming down the pipe as well.
How serious are you wanting to go on a first day kind of thing?
Well, he needs to know what he's getting himself into.
Right.
I mean, we
So,
can lay it on lightly, but the point is he still needs to know because we don't have time to ease him into everything. Everything is all happening at once.
okay. Do do we have any extra clothes in the RV? Someone might be a bit lacking when they show up.
I can grab some of Artie's clothes and I can
Okay.
bring them down. I don't think he wants to wear my clothes or Jester's clothes, so I'll find some clothes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea. And then once I got those, I can make sure that he's got something like we have.
Yeah, on that note, we should probably get everybody pretty dedicated, I guess. So we're not running around, naked if emergencies happen.
Yeah. Okay. Are you wanting to do? All right. Yeah, I'll meet you at the RV then.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Okay. Cool. And he'll hang up. He'll look down at Terrance like, all right, so we're gonna go where I live. Now that's a really secret place. You can't tell anybody. You're gonna meet Aspen. She's a very important person. And then we're gonna get you some clothing because yours are yeah. But just keep following me, and I'll get you on over there.
Terrance in his lupus form just stares and cocks his head to the side, one of his ears just kind of flopping over as he cocks it to the side. Then he immediately starts to get distracted as he flops his head back and forth, letting his ears flop over, his tongue lolling out again with excitement. He then uses one of his hind legs to start scratching and batting at the ear, and he seems to be very, very distracted with his newfound feral abilities. Just before he gets to noticing another feature about himself, you snap his attention back, and both of you start making your way through the forest and through some of the open pastures, trying to navigate your way back to the RV. Now, you were in the depths of the state park, so there is a little bit of travel that this is going to require, including crossing over possibly some busy roads. Go ahead and make a wits and survival check for me to plot out a course that's going to get you to where you need to go without or with as little interaction with humans as possible.
5.
Okay, 5. Yeah, you are most definitely able to plot out a good course. While you're at it, roll me a dexterity and stealth as well, just in case there are any onlookers that might potentially cross your path.
Because it's the same day, I'm keeping the willpower that I had previously. Correct.
No, you recycled. You've earned back your willpower. It changes over each session.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, 2.
2 successes. Okay, so having charted out a good course, 2 successes is enough to do it to keep you out of cover. Terrance follows behind, staying as close behind you as possible. Every now and then, getting a little bit distracted by a new scent or a new sound, causing him to look off in either ways. This is, in your estimation, what it was like the first time you changed into a human, where you just had this overwhelming stimulus of new sensations throughout you that caused you to constantly be distracted. And for the first time, it's almost adorable to you watching it happen in reverse. Being the one who's been through all this in the opposite circumstance, he seems like a new pup that is just learning to walk. Even in the way that he stumbles every now and then, forgetting that he has to walk with 4 legs instead of 2. But he seems to be getting a hang of it and seems to be very enthusiastic about the whole process. Aspen, what are you going to? Are you summoning the whole pack to this meeting, or are you just heading out there yourself?
No, she's gonna head out there herself, kind of get a lay of the land of what exactly happened, before really establishing, talking to Eliza and bringing in the rest of the pack.
Okay. So, Artie gives you a ride in his Jeep out to the RV. And about the time that you arrive at the RV, you see 2 wolves making their way out of the forest from the opposite side. There's Aiden, who you could recognize from anywhere, and then a black wolf, solid black wolf that seems to be trotting along beside him, that seems a little bit smaller, a little bit leaner, but is keeping pace with him, walking alongside. Artie looks over to you. I don't want to overwhelm the kids, so I'll just let you make the first introduction, and you just let me know when you want me to come join you.
Absolutely. Thanks for the clothes. I'll make sure, we get him back when he gets his stuff.
Sure.
Okay. And she pats the dashboard and gets out of the car.
Okay. So, exiting the vehicle, you start to approach the campground beside the RV. You see Terrance's footfalls slow ever so slightly, constantly looking over to Aiden for reassurance.
She'll look welcoming and she'll wave.
Strangely enough, give me a charisma and animal, Ken.
I'm gonna add my favor. That gives me +1 die to my persuasion or leadership.
Okay.
That is 3.
3 successes. Okay. Based off of your gesturing and your very welcoming attitude towards him, Terrance seems to become more at ease once again, his tail starting to swing lightly, his tongue lolling out again as he follows Aiden all the way into the campsite.
Aiden, I'm gonna need you to change so we can talk and possibly get him, back on 2 feet.
And Aiden will, in his lupus, give like a very notable nod, and then go back into his hominid form.
As you make your transition back, fur being replaced by bare skin, also clothing, Terrance watches, almost awestruck and astonished by the transition and the process as you once again make a change. And this has seemed to be the habit, even when you change to make the phone call to Aspen, that he can't help but stare and just watch the whole transition happen with a slight confusion on his face.
He'll kind of turn and look Terrance in the eye, like, all right, I need you to think about you as yourself, as a human, and picture you going through that. Go from the wolf that you are to a person. Can you try that?
Quick note, you will change and be naked. So I can turn around. I have clothes for you, but I know it can all be very jarring. So I'll put the clothes right here, and she sets them on the ground next to him. And she'll kind of turn around.
You can trust her. It's fine.
He plops his butt down on the ground and then lays down on all fours and just lets out a whine of an almost argumentative, I don't want to change back whine, his ears laying back on his head.
All right, I get it. It's fun. It's being the wolf is the best part, but she is someone that you need to talk to, and trying to talk like this is difficult. Can understand some things, but we're gonna have a little more difficult talks, and it's really hard to do when you're a wolf. We can go back, we can go and do different things out in the woods later, but right now we kind of have to have important discussions.
He scoffs a little bit in response to your reasoning, but eventually you could see the transition starting to happen. It's slow and a little bit rocky at first. It's not as comfortable and smooth as your transitions are, and it takes a little bit of time, but before you know it, kneeled on the ground, his hands out in front of him, is Terrance. Looking down and recognizing he's naked, he kind of wraps his arms around himself and
He'll grab the pants, shirt, and just kind of like, here you go, take the time you need.
why do you have clothes?
Mine are. I'll help you with that. Mine are special. I do I can do something with mine so that way any transition I go through, they stay. But you can't wash them in the wash machine. I'll get into it later. It's a
Yeah, for now,
Yep.
and she's still looking away. Let's just get clothes on. Let's have a discussion. There's a lot for you to hear about, Terrance. So let's, first things first, get you some clothes.
Okay.
kind of like hand them out.
He grabs the clothes and he pulls on what appears to be a set of board shorts, as well as a tank top, one that that advertises Gecko Fest on the front of the shirt. Probably one of Artie's old ratty shirts that he very rarely wears anymore. And a pair of flip flops is all that Artie could really provide. So as Terrance finishes getting dressed, where did they go when you change?
Uh, they kind of just become. It's like becoming to be part of me. So every time a change happens, myself grows or shrinks, much like the clothing itself goes away. And then when I need them to, they'll.
She'll turn around next to Aiden. Have you ever seen Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how they kind of just show up on their body almost like they morphed from their form, their suits?
Yeah, I guess so. I kind of always just assumed they were kept in their little, almost like morphers, like a Pokeball. It would just spring out and dress you up.
Yeah, so kind of like that, but it morphs on your body with you. The morpher is inside, right?
Yeah.
Starts patting his chest as if he's feeling around for whatever.
You're not gonna be able to feel it.
I really hope this isn't a dream.
I can guarantee you it's not. But the kind of point, that's Aspen. Very nice. She does paper stuff and works in a big building. She's also the leader of the pack.
What does that mean? Like, do I have to?
I don't think she'd let you.
Oh,
No, we're a group, if you think of it that way. We're a group that help each other. You've met Aiden. I'm Aspen. I think you've met Joseph. And we have Jester and our mentor Eliza as well.
that's a lot more than I expected. What about your friend from the zoo, Aiden, the one you brought? Is she one too?
She is.
That's Jester.
She said her name was Alice.
Yeah, she says a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a way to keep people safe.
Like a secret identity.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of those spy movie kind of things.
Huh.
Technically, Jester isn't even her actual name, but we'll get into that later.
So what are we really? Like, I've read a
Okay.
lot of stories and legends about shapeshifters, and I've heard about some Native American tales about those who could shift into certain spirits or had certain forms. But what are we?
Okay. So I'll give you just a crash course for now. I will have more conversations when we get with the rest of them. Crash course is you are a guru, which most others know as werewolves, right? So, yes, you are a werewolf. We are all werewolves, but we prefer guru.
But the moon's not full.
It doesn't work like that, technically. We all have a different moon. So I'm what is called a Philodox. Aiden is what's called an Arun. He was changed under the full moon, which is why he is an Arun. So it depends on your moon as to what auspice you are under.
Have you ever been to London or Paris, Aiden?
No. I do travel, but not across the big
Oh, okay. I
ocean.
was just gonna
Ocean, yeah.
say there might be a movie about you.
It,
So, um, so werewolves are real.
Yes.
yep.
Most of the stories, most of the fairy tales you've heard about are real in some respect.
Wow. Um, so is there like torches and pitchforks and angry villagers and that kind of thing too?
There's farmers that get upset every now and then, but that's when you get hungry and you need to eat something, but not like what the old stories say. Not quite like that.
What? Why do you choose to ever be human then?
Because I was born a wolf.
And
I'm what is
especially, why do you ever choose to be human?
I don't particularly. It's not my first choice. Being a human comes with a lot of additional feelings that as a wolf I don't get, but like this I'm able to help more. My purpose is able to be fulfilled in the sense of I can communicate with and you'll gesture to other humans more. As a wolf, I'm limited on what I can do.
That makes a lot of sense, though. You got along really well with the wolves at the zoo.
Yeah,
I just thought you had a knack for it, but now it makes even more sense why you would.
being one of them definitely has its perks.
So, were you a werewolf when I met you the first time in the woods and at the school?
I have been a guru 2, 3, 2, 3 years, 3 years now.
Was it difficult being a human for the first time?
Yeah, when it happened, it was late at night. Um, I was this big, hulking, hairy thing, and then I became this person. I got scared, so I ran, and then because of the feelings that were happening, I was constantly changing between this form and my wolf form running through the woods trying to figure out what was going on. Uh, I've never felt fear or understood stress quite like that in the as a wolf. Fear and is something that's used as a defense mechanism, but the human side, there's so many different paths to all the different feelings that you have, and that was more I was more scared of the feelings I had than the actual things that were happening to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's mostly anxiety at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of the what people have been saying has been going on.
Why didn't you tell me before when we first met?
There's rules that have to be followed.
I'm sorry, I have so many questions. Miss Asp Leader, what do you want me to call you?
You can just call me Aspen.
Aspen. Um, what can I do for you?
Nothing right now. Right now you have a lot, I'm sure, going through your head. But if you want, you can sit. Do you want something to drink?
Yes. There's a
Okay.
lot of running, and it's very hot outside, and being covered in fur made it even hotter.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be right back. And she goes into the RV and grabs some drinks, one for Aiden and one for him.
So she's one too,
Yeah.
and she's the leader one.
She's the big boss lady.
But in all the stories, werewolves were usually alone, like solitary, and there's like packs of them.
Yeah, there are some of us that prefer to be alone, but they still belong to the. It's called the Guru nation. I believe is the word for it. Everyone.
Wait, there's a nation? Like,
Yeah, there's not. It's not just here. We're all over. I came from way up northwest, and that's where I'm from, and then came down here.
seems like a bad place to be a guru. It's very hot here.
It's taken some time to get used to, but
It's been nice where there was like woods and space and not so many people.
yeah, my original home was a state park, and so big, huge, big trees, open plains. There's waterfalls, creeks, rivers,
Mountains?
abundance, big mountains.
I've never seen a mountain before. Just in
Maybe,
pictures and
yeah,
movies.
but maybe someday when we're able, we'll take you there.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'd like that.
we're pretty busy here, but hopefully things will mellow out.
Aspen, you go inside and you grab a drink, and you can hear Terrance continuing to throw questions at Aiden outside until you return, at which point he quiets down really quickly.
She just all smiles, just hearing him sound so interested in everything. And she brings the drinks out, hands one to Aiden, hands one over to Terrance.
Thanks.
He starts guzzling the drink down very, very thirstily. So, were there others when you changed too?
When I changed,
Yeah.
yeah, not like around. I kind of stumbled uh, into a gathering on accident.
Gathering.
It's called a moot. It's a big group of other guru from of different moons and my lots of guru together in one place, and that's where I met my mentor, and he kind of helped me from there.
That's kind of a dumb name. No offense. A moot? That sounds like a
I
cow gathering.
Well, if what would you call it then?
Um,
A woot?
no. Probably just gathering would work, or
I personally I like the ah woot, like ah woo, but also woot. Ah woot.
um. What about you, Aspen? Was there other guru with you at your change?
Yes, actually. Aiden was there when I changed. That's kind of he's learning that that's his thing.
So you find baby werewolves?
Kinda. All Guru have a certain smell almost. Um, what I'm able to do is find them or pick up their scent before the change happens. And with you, it happened that day that you were taking pictures that first time we met. When I started going away, there was a very strong sense that there was something about you. And yours was honestly a much easier time than Aspen's, but at the time I didn't know that that was kind of my purpose when I kind of stumbled upon Aspen.
Well, what do you mean easier?
Um, I had the people here to help me with that, where with Aspen it was just me. I had no help. Like, Joseph was just with us for what happened to you.
Yeah.
With Aspen, it was just me. So having that extra person, that another guru there, just gives that makes things a little more comfortable, I guess.
Did you lose all your clothes too, Aspen?
I did. I did
Oh.
lose all my clothes. I actually haven't had clothes that go with me up until recently.
Oh boy.
You're
So
welcome.
Because of Aiden.
when we change, is that like, do we control it, or is it like in the movies where just all of a sudden it happens in the middle of nowhere? I mean, you said the
There's
full
a
moon thing isn't true, so
there's a bit of a learning curve, absolutely, but once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to change at will. Yeah, there's a lot to it. She pulls out her phone and kind of looks at the moon of the day. You'll learn a lot of things. Like we all have an auspice, what I said earlier. It's the moon that we're changed under, and it kind of identifies our personalities in a way. And she's still scrolling, and it looks like you are Theurge.
Oh, great.
what?
Theurge, they deal with spirits and the Umbra. I know there's more questions there, but I'll let you soak that in first.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It's like ghosts?
So,
And other things.
great. Eliza will actually be able to explain this far better than us two here or any of us. She's also at the age, and she's been around for a while. But everything has a spirit, right? It's kind of the, for lack of a better word, the hippy dippy way that you hear where everyone talks about, oh, there's spirits in everything. It's that, but it's actually true.
Huh.
And the way Aiden likes to explain the Umbra, have you ever seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
It is like the Upside Down, but most, depending on where you're at, not as scary.
And we can just go there.
It takes some work. We have rituals that we can do. We have rites, which we'll get into as well. There's a lot to learn, like I said. And
Kidding.
we also have special gifts that we can all do that you'll also learn. Usually benefited to us by a spirit.
Okay. Um. So do we just change into like wolves like that? Is that
You take that one, Aiden. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's
Yes,
great. I'm not. That's perfect. That I had dreams that I was a wolf so many times that it's like a dream come true. Like I won the supernatural lottery.
you have 4 different ways you can turn into different things.
4?
Well, so you have you, which is your human, your Hamid form. Then
Okay.
you have your wolf form, which is also called your lupus. Now, your lupus form has a upgraded like version. And that one's much like the what's that show, Aspen? The one that's on the Max. A dire wolf. You're basically a really big version of a wolf.
Okay.
That one's the name of that is Hispo. And then your Hamid one also has a upgraded side of it. And that one kind of it gives you more hairy mostly, but you're still you, but you get real strong and you grow a little bit.
Like the
That's called
Hulk.
kinda more hairy though.
Okay.
And that one that's called Glabro. Now you have one that is
Why don't they just call it like bigger, furrier wolf?
I didn't make up the names, or they probably would be called that if I was the one to pick them. But your last one is your largest one. That is also
Wait, you just said there were 4. That's 4.
I think he means 4 other than your human form and what you are right now.
So you have you, then you have 4 that you can become.
So 5.
Like I guess if you
Yes.
I mean,
So there's wolf, bigger wolf, human, bigger human, and then there's the one right in the middle.
Yeah, this one is called the Krynos form. That's the one you become huge. Imagine like like the Hulk, but but wolf.
oh, like a movie werewolf, like the
Yeah,
that'd be
really
scary.
big, strong, angry, destructive creature. That is one that you need to make sure you have control over if you ever go into that form. Because if you
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
pretty much, um, anger is something that we use to go through these different parts to, especially into that Krynos. It's usually when we're at our most angry. But if we lose control of what's called the wolf inside, and if it takes over, there are things that can happen that you don't have control of. You aren't you if you lose control. The wolf takes control of you. So you have to learn to control that anger that sits inside of you. Now everyone's gets their that overall that anger that sits there. Everyone gets it from different places.
Okay, but I wasn't angry when I saw you. I was just confused and scared.
Right. Sorry, not sorry. You're also
No,
welcome.
no.
But yeah,
I guess I don't. Why me? Why did the like? I don't hate it, but why? What chooses somebody to be a guru?
that's a question that almost all of us ask when it happes. And
I can give you a little bit of information.
yeah.
So Gaia. Have you heard of Gaia?
Yes, from
Okay.
some pagans on the college grounds, yeah.
Right. So Gaia is the world, right? Everything the world embodies.
Yes.
Okay. She,
I'm not
along
very
with
religious. Is that going to be a problem?
no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
more just learning. It's almost like learning a different culture, if you will.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like learning
So
about
Gaia,
wolves, I guess. Oh, sorry.
right? No, you're fine. Gaia, she chooses us, but also we're chosen also by wolf spirits, if that makes sense. We are almost one with a wolf spirit in a lot of ways, and Gaia chooses who she believes deserves that gift. Because the most important thing you need to know as a guru is Gaia is dying. The world around you, her spirit, her essence is dying. And it's our job to make sure that doesn't happen, that she doesn't die. Because of the over industrialized world, because of the toxic waste, because people do not take care of Gaia, she is sick and she is dying. And it's our jobs to prevent those things, to prevent the corruption within this world on both sides, really. But we'll get into the other side a little bit more. I'm sure you'll be fascinated with that.
So Gaia is Mother Nature,
Correct.
effectively.
Correct.
Okay. And we have to help save Mother Nature because Mother Nature is dying.
It's a little bit more complicated than that because we also have the triad, which what humans see as Mother Nature is a little it's more complicated than that. Gaia is more complicated than that. But for now, we'll go with that if that's easier to digest.
None of this is easy to digest, but I'm keeping up, yes.
Okay.
Why doesn't anybody know about all this? Why wouldn't you just tell everyone so that we could all do it together? And
Unfortunately, that's not how it works. We are not, I guess the word is allowed to tell humans, number one. And number two, it wouldn't go well for most humans knowing about us. Humans have a different idea of what guru are.
torches
And
and pitchforks.
right.
That's sad. Must be very lonely. I mean, not right now. There's others, but not to be able to tell your friends or your family or your loved ones. I guess it's the bad part of keeping a secret.
It's a pretty big one too.
So, if getting angry is what helps us change, is is it possible that it could be accidental, that we could change because of other people making us angry?
Yes. That is why we'll work on it. I'll help you through it. There's different ways to make sure that doesn't happen. Because the last thing I want for you is to be walking down the street and you see something and boom, you're a big scary wolf person. It won't bode well, and then Aspen's got to get involved, and then I got to show up, and it's a whole mess.
How do you have a life? How do you go to
Mine's
school or have a job or have a can you even have families?
Aspen. You want to take? I can't answer that.
It's complicated. It's very complicated. Um, Families are hard, especially keeping such a big secret. But that's not to say you can't find your communities within other guru and other people like us. Makes it far better. But that's not to say that you have to swear away people and human connection at all. It's good to have that connection to humans because it reminds you of what you're fighting for.
Okay. Sorry, this is just a lot.
I know.
Okay, so how many of us are there?
A lot.
Gonna have to narrow down that question, sir.
Do you mean in like the 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 state that we're in, or like where we are?
First one, then the other?
Okay. Where we're at. Let's see. There's you now. There's Aspen. There's myself. There's Artie. There's Joseph, Jester, Eliza. I think that's it. Seven.
That's a lot.
That's actually a very, very small amount. If it were better here, there would be a lot more of us.
More?
Yes.
Yeah. Where I'm at, like the gatherings are huge. Dozens upon dozens of guru come together and talk. We exchange stories. We my hospice, my moon. We see who's stronger. Little scraps here and there. Then you have your different groups who talk about how things are going on the other side and talk about the spirits. But a lot of stories about the different guru from before us.
Is this something you wanted to be?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
No, me neither, but I mean, like, I'm happy that I'm this, I guess, but doesn't seem like everybody would be. If you don't choose it, it's not like...
Yeah, it's not everyone has such an easy or an easygoing time of the change itself. There's a lot of time where people or things are get damaged or hurt during it, and that can have a large effect on how you look at what you have become. But you can't just think about that. Um, it is something you need to remember, but you can't just stay on that thought.
Okay. So, do I have to drop out of school? Do I have to stop working at the zoo? Like, how do I... What am I supposed to do?
You'll be more preoccupied now. As far as your school goes, that's still a discussion, a longer discussion. We do want to introduce you to the rest of the guys, so we can all talk together. When we make decisions, we're usually all together. But it doesn't mean that you lose your old life. Like me, I'm a paralegal at a law firm.
Seems like that would make me mad all the time.
You have no idea.
So you went to college and finished, and how old were you when you changed?
23.
So a little bit older than me.
Mhm.
So you were done with school by then.
No. I still have a lot of school to do. In fact, I just recently enrolled back into school.
All right.
Online classes?
Yes, makes it much easier.
That does seem like it would be a smart way to go, yeah.
Right.
I mean, worst comes to worst, you break a laptop and not a person.
Right. And, missing a physical class is a lot different than missing an online class.
Yeah. I could do online classes.
Yeah, your life doesn't have to change drastically. It just needs to adjust.
I think it changed pretty drastically, but
Well, in the way
the
that you
better?
have to leave your whole life behind and only focus on this solely, is what I mean.
I didn't have much of a life before. I mean, I had school and I had volunteer work, and I had a wolf that I thought was a friend and now is more than that, apparently.
Just two friends wrapped into one.
Yeah. Did you ever spend your whole life looking for something and didn't know what it was? And then you found it in the most unusual way possible.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. So is there like a Jedi training academy or something? Like, am I a Padawan now? Like, how does all that work?
Well, let me first ask, how are you feeling? As far as calming down the anxiety and all of that.
It's a lot, but it makes sense. I mean, I always felt I didn't belong where I was. And at first I thought it was because I just didn't have a family and I was an orphan and moving from foster care, and I didn't think anybody wanted me. So I never really felt like I belonged anywhere. And the only time I really felt like I belonged somewhere was when I was at the zoo, when I was in the pen working with the wolves, and when I was out in the woods, and I was okay with that. I was happy with that, but they don't let you just live at the zoo, and they don't, you know, let you just live in the woods.
Oh, you can do that.
Well, maybe now. Although I think it'd be weird if one black wolf was in a pen with a bunch of red wolves.
Yeah, you might stand out a little bit. Um, just to let you know that you were the first one here that I got the scent of, but you're not the only one.
There's other babies.
Yeah, kinda.
Do we have to go get them?
But not we, not we. That's my job. My
Oh,
job is to teach you, and we'll find you and teach you the basics.
okay.
I just want you to know that you're not alone as far as other ones that are out there. That there are others that are going through the same thing you are.
Well, you should probably find them quickly then, because it'd have been a lot weirder if I was figuring this out by myself.
Yes.
Those ones are a little bit more complicated than your situation.
You like to use the word complicated a lot.
Is it not very complicated?
It seems like it is, yeah.
Hence why I use the word.
What's complicated about it?
Where they're at,
Where are they?
The company they keep makes it hard for me to get to them. In whichever form I'm in, they're a little more hostile to other people. So trying to get close makes it hard. Where you found me, so that made it a little bit easier. These other ones, they seem like a very close individual, and they don't really let people in, kind of thing. So I'm working on it. I wanted you to know that there's others like you.
Okay. So what's my job then? If your job is to find them, what is my job?
Well, that is twofold. That depends on you, and that also depends on everyone as a whole. So if you're feeling a little bit better, we can introduce you to the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Just in case this is all a dream, we might as well get to it, and then when I wake up, I'll be very sad.
Well, hopefully you don't wake up for a while.
Hopefully
Right.
not.
She points to Regina. Head that way.
Okay. You can hear the sound of the flip flops as he starts walking over towards the car. He
Aspen's.
reaches probably about 3 feet away from the car when he stops suddenly and then looks at the hood of the car. Um, did you? Okay. You said everything has a spirit, right? Are they usually very talkative?
It depends.
It's nice to meet you, Regina. Even cars?
When everything means everything.
Okay. That's gonna take some getting used to.
Aspen's gonna pat Aiden on the shoulder. You did good, kid.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You're doing great. You just gotta answer the questions, give the information. He seems more laid back than I was, so
Everyone's
doing
more
great.
laid back than you. God, you're
that is
a pain in the butt.
also accurate. But you know, at least second time is a charm.
Yeah, and hopefully I can just keep this going with the others.
Also, I noticed that you thought maybe about bringing up Kyle. Yes.
I thought about it and then I kind of backed off. I figured that might be a bit much for today.
It's a conversation you could have. I would just think maybe have it near Eliza or Joseph because they might have more answers than we do.
That's what I was thinking too right now. If he'd ask too many, and I can't answer those ones, so.
Yeah.
So are we heading to Eliza's then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get Jester and we'll go.
As Aiden walks up, he'll kind of look to Artie and walk over to the driver's side
What?
uh
Do you want to eat? Are you hungry?
Dude, I'm so hungry.
You
right
could
now.
just say that. I understand English.
But
you don't have to do this.
yeah. All right, Artie, I want food.
Oh, okay.
We should get food.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
How's the kid taking it?
Better than Aspen.
Well, considering the circumstances, I understand that.
Yeah, I'll tell you how it went later, but his change was so much easier, and he'll walk over to the back.
You all load up into the Jeep. Terrance sits there talking back and forth with the car, mostly a one sided conversation as he stutters his way through a conversation with Regina before walking away, shaking his head, and climbing into the back seat of the car. Aspen, you take shotgun, as is your rightful place, and Artie starts the car, and you drive off. On the way over to Eliza's, you stop by to pick up Jester. Jester, where are you today?
Most likely, Jester is, or I'm back at the motorcycle bar, um, sorting through the photos and
See,
stuff.
you receive a text message from Aspen saying that you need to meet, giving her your location. About 30 to 45 minutes later, Regina pulls into the driveway and you come outside to meet them. You see that the Jeep is a little more cramped than it was before, as there is another individual sitting in the back seat. But they seem to have a look of recognition in their eye as they look out the window and see you come out of the bar. The entire car trip, Terrance has either been talking nonstop or has been dead silent, just looking out at the world beyond with a very, very bewildered and confused look on his face.
I'll pause for a second when I see him in the car, and then I'll head over and climb in the back.
Terrance
Hey,
scoots over into the center seat. Hi, Alice?
Jester.
Right, Jester. That's going to take some getting used to. I'm Terrance. Wait, do I have to take an interesting name too? Like a superhero name or no?
Only if you want to. Mine was actually given to me by my mentors
Oh,
up in Colorado, so.
so is Aiden gonna give me a name?
Do you want him to give you a name?
I'm kind of curious, but I probably have to earn it first.
Yeah, if we're gonna get you a name, we'll have you go through the gauntlet. See how that goes.
It took a while to get mine.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I would never have guessed you were a guru when we met.
Good?
Yeah, I think so. As long as
It's
I don't
nice.
make you angry, I guess.
Yeah, don't
I
make that
mean,
one angry.
don't worry. I can control it. Usually. It's nice to meet you too, Terrance.
What was your first change like?
Oh, violent. Yeah, I didn't know we were going into that so fast. I, how much have they told you? Did they tell you about, like, what you
Basics.
change into?
They told me that there are 5 different me's there could be.
Okay. So they told you about the big giant wolf man you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I changed into that my first time, and I don't really remember what happened, but it was pretty violent.
That's like the worst one.
Yeah, kind of. It was not a happy memory.
Well, I'm sorry that it happened that way.
It's all right. I think looking maybe if I'd had someone like Aiden there, it would have been better.
Oh, you didn't have anybody find you either?
No, nobody found me until like a month later, maybe 2 months.
It must have, well, like I was saying earlier, must have been very lonely.
It was. And scary.
I'm glad I don't have to do that.
Yeah. I'm glad you don't either. I don't recommend it to anyone.
So, you work at a biker bar?
No. I am retrieving some things from one of us who's no longer with us.
He gets really quiet at that. Okay. He just falls very silent as you continue on your journey, the Jeep backing out of the parking lot and making the drive to Eliza's, which takes about 20 to 30 minutes before you pull into the trailer park. But the scene is yours if the three of you wish to talk, as Artie drives and Terrance sits silently contemplating that there's one less of you and that can happen.
So, this happened a lot sooner than we expected.
Uh, yeah. I don't know. You guys said feel it. It felt like a good time. I wasn't expecting the change, but I was trying to give him a heads up on what was the world around him.
You're trying to go the route of telling him before it happened.
Yeah, because you guys, we had that discussion of like having them around to kind of go through it.
It's very good, Aiden. Good job.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So, I found a bunch of pictures of the old sept. Like, there were a lot of them. I'm hoping Eliza can tell me about them so I can share their stories.
Yeah.
I think that'll be great stories to tell when we get the cairn built and we do our first moot.
Right.
Terrance chuckles slightly at the word moot, but then falls silent again.
Oh, I'm sorry. A woot.
A woot?
A woot.
Apparently, moot is not a good name, so we're trying out different ones.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not were-cows, Jester.
Moot's an old word for meet. Like a meetup.
Well, still not cows, wolves, so woot.
A woot. Got it.
We'll
I
see what
don't know
Eliza
how.
thinks.
Yeah,
She'll probably say no.
she'll probably hate it.
So as you drive on, having a little bit of small talk on the way, you eventually do pull into the trailer park. Terrance, again, looks very confused as he looks around at the buildings. Is this your hideout? Where are we going? The RV in the woods made sense, but this...
That's mine and Aspen's, and it's a hideout for the pack. It started off for 2 and now has encompassed everyone.
We've switched things up.
But this is Eliza's, the one who's been a guru for a long time.
The mentor that
right.
Aspen mentioned.
Yeah, this is where she lives.
So maybe we'll talk her out to moving somewhere where she can see the stars better.
I think she'd like that.
Okay.
Be respectful to her. When she talks to you, you may respond. Otherwise, just sit there.
Okay.
You can ask questions.
If Aspen says you can ask questions, then you can ask questions.
Okay.
I'll pat Terrance on the shoulder. Don't worry. She's a bit sassy, but she's actually pretty nice. I'll climb out and hold the door open for him.
He climbs out afterwards, one of the flip-flops getting caught on the edge of the door and him having to maneuver his way out. As they're standing outside, Artie looks over to Aspen. Are you even ready for this?
Absolutely not. But we'll see how it goes.
See how it goes. She's I might not have a lot to say during this.
That's fair. Yeah, just sit back and enjoy the entertainment.
That's a word for it.
It'll be great. And she pats him on the thigh as she gets out of the car and then pats the dashboard again.
He climbs out and the car falls quiet as you both make your way up the porch steps, or as all of you make your way up the porch steps to the front door. Pulling open the screen door, you give a knock, and after a moment, the door opens as Chloe actually answers the door. Hey guys!
Hey!
Oh, come on in. And she steps back, holding the door open. You can see Eliza is sitting over in her recliner, working with a series of herbs that she seems to be dividing up into separate dishes. She looks up, giving like a head tick in your direction until she sees Terrance walk in, and she leans back in her chair.
Yeah.
I just give her a knowing smile.
All right, who's going to explain?
I think that is Aiden's job. And she
Alright.
just sits on the couch.
Hey, hello, ma'am. How are you?
I am exhilarated for this explanation, Aiden.
Alright, so went off on a hunt with Joseph, just trying to get some extra time with him. On the way back, point over to Terrance. Terrance was there. Terrance, Eliza, Terrance.
Terrance. He looks over at Aiden again. Ma'am. Well, come on in. Sit down. Don't act like you're going to go running out of here any second. Terrance makes his way in, tiptoeing in from the doorway until he gets to the farthest edge of the couch that's closest to the door and sits down.
I'll bring Eliza a beer and some tacos.
Oh, my savior.
I know.
So when Joseph and I saw Terrance, kind of off in the distance, we were both in our lupus form. We went over to him, had small interactions, brought him deeper into the state park, away from prying eyes. What you guys had said kind of came to the front of my head as far as what to do about letting him know what he is or what he's going to be. I turned into my Hammond form, and Joseph did too. That was a bit too much for him, and he had his change. He took off deep into the woods. Joseph and I followed. He ran to the edge of a creek. He had finally stopped. He let out a large howl. Joseph and I howled with him. Joseph then realized what had happened and took off to try and get things going, because now we have a new pup that is here. Gave him a quick little rundown with Aspen. We met back at the RV, let him know what we are, the different things that we can become. Aspen went over Gaia and a few parts of the litany, um, at least the really big ones. Went over spirits briefly.
Briefly.
Oh, that
Not
that's not.
exactly a brief topic, Aiden.
I know, but I'm not the one to talk about it. I'm gonna mess it up. I I can seek and I hunt and fight things. That's it. If you need me to fight a spirit, sure. Explain what they are. Not, I'm not the guy for that.
Oh, Miss Eliza. He's also a theurge, so we thought you would be the perfect person to talk to him.
Interesting. Have the headaches started yet, son? She says, looking over to Terrance, and he nods his head slowly as he starts to rub the side of his temple with all the conversation. Not surprising. It's a lot to learn and takes a great deal of time. Why don't you go make yourself comfortable? Chloe will give you some food and we'll talk shortly. I'm going to talk to the others here. Yes, ma'am. He gets up and Chloe comes over and gives a smile to Jester before leading him off into one of the other rooms to relax and take some of the pressure off. Eliza leans forward in her recliner. Changed quickly, but it sounds
Yeah.
like it was rather smooth. That's
Yes.
surprising. They usually aren't. Good work, Aiden.
Thank you. I did. I was gonna bring up the. He kind of looks to see if Terrance is within earshot, and when he sees them kind of down, like the others that were around. Um, but I figured that was a little too much right now, especially for a first day.
It's a very fragile thing. If he gets too knowledgeable that there are others, others in his situation, especially until he's well educated on what it is to be us, might make him overeager to sniff out new ones. Also, might make him run into a bad situation, especially considering the situation with those others. Although I can tell you, I've been keeping an eye on this situation. One of them has changed already.
That's not surprising.
Which means that the cult has another guru on their side, other than the ones they already have.
Right.
If they've changed recently, is there a chance of the new one of turning him away from the cult? Or is it too late?
Depending on where he is. But if he has been indoctrinated long before this change, you're going to have a very hard time bringing him back. It's as if he was preparing for this all along. If they already have gotten their way of thinking embedded into his brain, that would be like trying to change a child soldier who has become an adult back to a regular way of living. It's not impossible, but I'm not sure you have the resources to do it. Not now.
Or I guess time is a resource.
Time is a resource. Also manpower, and
I get
this
it.
is a very tumultuous area. Like I said, it's not impossible. But there's also the spirits to consider. If the spirits of the cult have already gotten their hooks in him, they're not going to let him go easy. And I don't think you're ready for a war of attrition with spirits.
Nope.
But that does bring up a valid point. What do we do with this one? I've been able to handle the babysitting duties I've had so far, but I haven't had to handle any full-blooded guru that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Chloe's been well behaved, minding herself, doing as she's told, and she's learning slowly. But what to do about this one?
I do have my concerns about them being here. This isn't exactly a hospitable, is that the word? Place for a new group currently, just with the what we're trying to do here. We got the leeches, we have the Bane thing.
To put it simply, we're in a war zone.
Yeah, it's not the best place to be trying to teach a new guru how to do different things, because they're gonna be put into situations that they're not ready for, and they could get them killed.
Not to mention the need for secrecy. It's even more so here than it would be in other places. They're already looking for you.
Like I
What?
can
Go ahead.
I can keep him hidden in the woods, but he's not gonna want to stay there forever. He seems like one that wants to explore and know it all now. And if you contain a wolf for too long, they're going to break out and go farther than they should.
What
Well,
about the Wolf Reserve in Oregon or Washington?
Could
The
send
one
him
we
up
went to?
there. Um,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Eliza, you did mention a group, I believe, in Georgia,
there's a
Louisiana.
sect in Georgia. Yes, in southern Georgia. South of Atlanta.
So that's a possibility. Keeps them close. It's not, all the way across the country, but it is far enough away that he's not going to get the backlash of what we are into.
He's had his
Also,
eyes opened up to a whole new world, a whole new way of existence. And if he is a theurge, as you say, and based off of the timing of his change, seems legit, he's going to start seeing and hearing things as he discovers his gifts and as the spirits recognize him for what he is. And there are plenty of silly and tricky and simple spirits he could encounter, but especially around here, there are some much more dangerous ones that he could also encounter. Not knowing the difference between the two could be problematic.
He was talking to Regina.
You're lucky she's a peaceful one, for the most part. Little ornery.
but I don't believe that we can keep him here right now. Um, if only for his safety. That's my biggest concern, is him not knowing enough to keep himself safe, and our attention being split so much. There's no one really here that can give that much attention to him. At least for now.
Not to mention until a patron selects him and he selects them, his loyalties questionable at the moment.
Which, with the cults in the city, makes him even more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he should be moved. That's going to be a difficult conversation, considering he's connected with all of you. Some more than others, and she looks towards Aiden. Not to mention, this is his home. And we are expecting him to uproot and move quite some distance away. If the Sept were stronger, it'd be easier for him to stay, but we don't have the numbers, we don't have the resources, and we don't have the time. Unless one of you were to be saddled with him at all times, and that's not something I think any of you can afford to do at the moment.
Yeah, it would put him in more danger again. Just being around us is putting him in danger. He needs to go somewhere else. The question is, well, he's going to have a lot of questions. And I think we should be as honest as possible. He can hear it from us, know how much is happening here, know the dangers, know what he's dealing with, and why he needs to go. Because if he doesn't hear it from us, he's going to hear it from somebody. And I think we all should have a part in being as truthful as possible. That way, if he does want to come back, he knows that we're trusted and that we told him what we could.
Are you want to do that today?
That depends on when we're getting him out of here.
Yeah, there's questions about school. I don't know how that works.
Well, the semester is ending soon, probably in about 5 weeks.
That's
Maybe
a long
less.
time. Seems
Yeah.
short. But with the newly changed Guru, and with the worm being what it is, that's a long time. And a big risk.
I think might be a bigger risk, especially since the cult had someone as his roommate watching him. So they already know he's there, and if they know he changed, they might use that roommate to get to him.
So, all right, yeah, we'll skid him out. You trust the Sept in Georgia?
I don't have any reason not to. They have their own affairs they're dealing with, their own problems, but apparently the situation in Atlanta has gotten better for the most part. So they aren't dealing with the same struggles they were some decade or so ago.
Uh, yeah. I think, yeah, we just be honest with him, let him know what he has really stepped into.
I would give him at least a week to settle his affairs, gain a little bit more knowledge about what this life is, and to prepare himself for the transfer. Does he have any family, any other entanglements to be worried about?
Doesn't sound like it.
No, it's not orphan.
You got off really easy, Aiden.
I think the biggest concern would be his schooling, but if he is to go in and tell them that there's a family emergency, they'll probably let him finish out the semester, get his finals done as quickly as possible, get him out.
Or to take academic leave. Finish the semester next year. In the fall. Possibly even later than that. It is a difficult thing to try and maintain any sense of normalcy when you enter into this world, let alone in this particular circumstance.
I remember it was really hard for me not to change in the few months I was alone. I kind of had to stay locked in my house most of the time.
The other question is, are you all ready for him to go? To find another one to make that connection, especially between kin seeker and kin, that's a bond. And I know, considering your circumstances, Aiden, your history, you've had to say a lot of goodbyes. There is a possibility he doesn't even return here. If he finds a pack or a tribe or a sept, he might end up being moved elsewhere.
Yeah, it'll be hard, but he'll be safe, and that's something that is more of a guarantee outside of Tampa, and being several states away ensures that even more. And if he doesn't come back, that's all right. He will always be my second. Oh. But no, I would. My concern is his safety above all else, and if that means that he's got to go away, then he's got to go.
And that's why we have cell phones.
Beauty of technology.
True.
That is a benefit y'all have that we didn't have when we were first changing, let alone the elders before me.
And you know, Aiden, I can introduce you to something called FaceTime, where you can talk to him and see him on the phone and he can see you.
Okay.
I'll explain it later.
Okay. All right.
I just think we don't have much of a choice, regardless of how everybody feels about the bond with him. We can't risk it because, sure, there's a bond there, but if he gets into trouble, it's just as bad watching someone else be lost to all of this.
Yeah.
I think it's the best choice.
I agree. Very good then. Take the week, help him make whatever arrangements he needs to. Aiden, I recommend staying by his side that whole week until it's time for him to go. And I think it would be best, being his kinseeker, that you're the one to take him to the sept up north. I can arrange transportation for you if you'd like, but also a good run might do the two of you some good, though it will take some time.
I haven't had a run like that for a while. It'd be kind of nice.
Very good. I'll let him rest here for the evening. He's probably exhausted from the change itself, though it was a rather simplistic change. He shouldn't be going back to any school housing, at least not today, if not for a few days.
So is he sleeping on the couch, or do you want me to take Chloe to the RV?
I'll make accommodations for him, don't you worry.
Okay.
That being said, is there anything else anyone wishes to discuss? We still have to deal with the issue of the Bane at the cairn. Joseph has been looking into that.
I mean,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go.
No, mine is probably less important, and it can wait.
Well, I have nothing else to report besides the Terrance situation, the Bane that's coming up that needs to be taken care of as soon as possible. So that'll be something we're all going to be working on in between figuring out the Terrance stuff. But if Aiden's going to be gone, we're going to need him here too to take care of the Bane. So we're not doing any of that until you get back. So make that quick. The cairn, still working on the cairn. Hopefully that'll be sooner than later. I know Joseph is working on that too. Unfortunately, he's got his hands busy with the switching of private property. But nothing else that I can really think of, unless you all have something you'd like to bring to the table.
So I was kind of talking about in the car, but I've been going through a lot of writers' things, and I found a whole bunch of pictures from the old sept. And Eliza, I'd love to hear about them if you're willing to tell me when we have time. Doesn't have to be right now, but
Of
I'd like
course,
to hear their stories.
we have to learn from the mistakes of those who came before us if we are going to be prepared for the future. It might be difficult with a few of them, but that's what I'm here for, isn't it?
Yeah. And I found a set of keys, I think, to the storage place that Ryder went to. So I plan to check that out.
Probably best to do sooner rather than later. Get all the things out of wherever he kept them, just so they don't fall into the wrong hands or get discovered by the wrong people.
Yeah. It's taking a little while, but I'm trying to move everything. The bikers have been pretty accommodating towards me, so not a problem.
That is a useful tool. See if you can get ownership of it. You already inherited one of his many toys. Might as well inherit another.
Yeah. We're actually going to hold a little memorial for him later this week for them to talk about him.
Very good. All right.
Aiden, did you have anything else you wanted to discuss?
It's more of a quick little spirit thing. Why are spirits so vague? I had a very specific question. I asked a name, and I am the present, past, future. It was a white wolf.
Spirits are very fickle, very tricky. And you have to understand that your way of processing and understanding things is very different than theirs. Yes, they are familiar with what we are, especially being Guru, but they are also independent. Until you have earned the respect of this particular spirit or endeared yourself to them, they will be vague, purposefully, because they have been tricked, they have been betrayed, they have been given plenty of reason not to be very forthcoming. They have been abused, especially around here. And, most likely, it's because they do not believe you are ready to hear the truth. It's something that you have to earn, or you have much more to learn before you are able to.
Okay, no, that makes a little more sense. I don't really give my name out when strangers ask, so that's
Names
fair.
have power even amongst spirits. You know a spirit's name with certain gifts, you can call them to you, or even possibly enslave them into your service.
Okay. Thank you.
Artie clears his throat. I have something potentially to bring up. Uh, upon Aspen's request, I've been looking into the circumstances about Rachel. Don't have a lot yet, but I'm now going over the vehicle's history, looking at maintenance reports to see if there's anything that could have coincidentally made this accident happen. But I'm not turning up much. I've got a few feelers out there trying to get more information, but so far, if this was an accident, it would have had to be very, very unusual circumstances. I'll let you know if I find anything, though.
Thank you, Artie.
Yeah. However, I did find out something else. It's being reported that before Miss Hart's untimely demise, she had completed the process of selling her law firm to Ballard, Anderson, and Bateman.
Why would she do that?
She didn't.
All the paperwork lines up, and the assets are being transferred as we speak. Aspen, you can take a point of rage. And that is where we're going to go to break. We'll be back in a few minutes. Enjoy our community artwork as we're gone, but we'll see you in just a few. See you soon. Jester, it's been a few days since your meeting with Eliza, and you are now taking on the terrible, burdensome task of following through on some advice that you were given by Chloe. The last time you were with Chloe, you were at the motorcycle club and you had a conversation where she asked how you can maintain this secret from the people that you love, that you care about, and how it was difficult for her to find out about all of this, to come into this knowledge, but that she was settling in well. And then the conversation turned to Leon. Leon being your boyfriend of a few years now, a long term committed relationship, but also being left out, unknowing, having to deal with the difficult task of being attached to someone with a very secret life that takes them away and has taken you away for weeks, if not months at a time, with little to no contact. So tonight, several days later, you find yourself sitting in Regina outside of the apartment complex that you once called home, a place that you shared with Leon, a place that you spent a passionate night reconnecting just a few weeks ago. What's going through your mind as you sit there preparing for what you must do?
I'm trying to go over what I want to say to him and how I want to say it. Trying to fight off the heartbreak I'm feeling, even though I know it's going to be 10 times worse talking to him. But the events of the last month or so replaying in my head, Ryder's death, the conversation with Chloe, and a few days ago finding out that Rachel's death may not have been an accident, and knowing the vampires in the city are going to use whatever they can against us. And eventually, as much as I want to believe I can hide him, it's probably not going to happen.
As your mind swirls with these thoughts, Regina sits patiently, the engine off. It didn't cause you any trouble on your ride over, and has been a respectful and strangely understanding sentry to you throughout this whole process. At times, she's been your savior, at other times, just a mode of transportation. As you have your hands on the steering wheel, the steering wheel itself feels comfortably warm to the touch, as if you weren't just holding a steering wheel, but you were holding a hand.
Thanks, girl. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support.
Eventually, release the steering wheel, opening the door, and stepping outside of the Jeep, looking up at the building where you can see the light is on in your apartment window. You'd called Leon in advance to let him know you were coming over, so this isn't much of a surprise. You make your way to the building itself and up the steps until you find yourself standing in front of the door. Taking a deep and steadying breath, you knock at the door, and after a moment, it opens, and Leon is standing there with a smile on his face and what looks to be a bouquet of flowers in his hand. You can see that there are a few candles that have been lit within the apartment itself, and it looks like there is a takeout bag of food sitting on the counter. Hey.
Hey.
I shouldn't have to say come on in, but come on in. He steps back, holding the door open for you.
Thanks.
Everything okay?
No. We need to talk.
I don't like the sound of that. Those are like the most dreaded
Words
4
of a relationship.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, it is that kind of talk.
Why?
Let's sit down.
Closes the door behind you and follows you over to the couch before he sits down next to you.
Even before I met you or I came here, I have been trying to live 2 lives. And it's gotten to the point that I can't live 2 lives. And I can't tell you about my other life. I told you I made promises years ago that I can't break about keeping things secret. That's not fair to you. And that other life will put you in danger. It's already hurt my other friends. And you don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be kept in the dark about something that could destroy everything you care about,
But
destroy your life.
it is destroying what I care about if it's taking you away from me.
But I'm not the only one thing you care about, Leon. You have a life, you have a future, and if I stayed with you, you would lose that, or worse. And I can't do that to you. I can't do that to you. And I can't, on the other hand, let you fully in. And I'm sorry. I am selfish and manipulative and secretive, and you deserve so much more.
I'm not like your other friends, Jess. They got in trouble, yeah. But you guys have always kind of been on the brink of some kind of trouble. I mean, raging against the machine, taking on the man. I knew what I signed up for when we were together. I knew that there might be a time I'd get a call that you're arrested, or I might have to come pay bail to get you out of jail, or that I knew there was some danger associated with it. And I get it. There's promises and secrets, but what kind of future do I have if it's a future without you?
A future of vast potential. That all that you knew, that was the life you knew. I have told you nothing of the other life. And I can't tell you. And trust me, you think that you would are not like my other friends, that you wouldn't get in trouble like that, but a friend of mine who is a part of this other life just lost someone close to her, and she knew nothing of it. She wasn't a rabble rouser. She wasn't doing anything illegal. She had a day job, and she still died because the people that are after me don't care who's doing right and who's doing wrong. They will manipulate and they will use and they will destroy whatever it takes to get to us.
Then why would you want to be caught up in a life like that? What's in it for you? What about your happiness? You work so hard for everyone else. What about you? Don't you deserve something, some kind of peace or happiness in all this?
That ended a long time ago.
You seem pretty happy and peaceful last time we were together.
I did. And I was. But I am not willing to pay the price of your life for that happiness. Because if anything happened to you, it would eviscerate me. And maybe someday you'll be able to find happiness with someone else that you deserve.
Why don't we just leave then? You and me both. We
I
can go and start over somewhere else. If it's so
I can't
dangerous here, we don't have to be here.
I can't leave. Promises to keep. Promises and honor is important to me.
What about the promises we made? Are these promises more important than our promises?
Yes.
What if you're making the wrong choice? What if whatever this is changing you for the worst? You've cut your hair, you've dyed it, your friends have gone to jail and then apparently aren't in jail anymore and are just gone. What if this is the wrong choice? What if the promises you're keeping are the bad promises?
Then I have to live with that.
This isn't fair. When you
It hasn't been.
disappeared for months, when you don't return calls or texts, I waited anyway. Because I promised. I promised I wouldn't go anywhere. I promised I would stand beside you no matter what. You're not just breaking your own promise, Jester. You're making me break mine.
I'm sorry.
Whatever crusade you're on to save the world, what kind of world are you saving? What's it all going to be for at the end if you're alone, having hurt all the people who cared about you? Wouldn't you rather just be happy? Wouldn't you rather just be able to enjoy whatever time you've got left? The battle you're fighting isn't a probably isn't one you're going to see the end of. You can do good and be happy. You don't have to do this falling on your sword, self sacrificial bullshit. You are scorching the earth right now, Jess.
I know. But it's not for me. It's for people like you. And a baby's being born today. I'm planting seeds that I will probably never see grow. And I'm well aware of that.
I don't suppose I get any say in this at all, huh? I don't get to say that I don't care, and that if something bad happens to me, so be it. Just to have a few more days with you, a few more nights with you, a few more. I don't get to see the end of this road with you.
Sorry, but no.
Do I even get to ask what happened to the others? They were my friends too.
Jackson, Caleb, and Chloe are safe. I don't know what happened to Mia. They took her. She's disappeared from the system. Going to try to find her, but I don't know how.
You don't have to do this.
I've been telling myself that for months and fighting, but the more I think about it, the more I know I do. I can't live two lives anymore. Because I'll end up destroying both of them. Burn everything down with me.
How do you know that's not what you're doing right now?
I have a little faith in some things.
It's not us.
Unfortunately not.
He reaches into the pocket of his slacks, pulls out a little box, little square box, and sets it down on the coffee table.
I'm just staring at the box.
I hope you change your mind. I hope. Whether it's tonight or tomorrow or a week or a year from now, you change your mind. Because even if you are unable to keep certain promises, I'm not. You're fighting for the world you live in. You were my world. Didn't matter where we were. didn't matter where we lived. It didn't matter how long it was going to last. As long as I was in it with you, that's all that mattered. Take some of the food with you on the way out, else it's just going in the trash. He stands up from the couch, leaving the box on the table, and goes walking down the hallway into the bedroom, and you hear the door close.
I'm going to stare at that box for a long time before I eventually get up. I'll take some of the food just to make him happy. Not that it's going to do much good.
Probably couldn't eat right now even if you tried. And probably won't be able to for a good long while. As with your stomach in knots, you go to make your way out. Heading down the stairs. Yeah.
Keep going.
No, you go.
I was going to say, when I head out and get back in Regina, start crying, but I'm going to Eliza's.
Okay.
I need Chloe.
So you make the drive. And it feels like one of the longest drives you've probably ever taken. You thought the drive there was a long one. The drive away is even longer, as you can feel like there are strings pulling at your back, urging you to turn around and to undo all of this like it never happened, to go back into the apartment, to go to bed with the one you love, to live the life that you should have been promised if it wasn't for all of this. But you do make the drive. And after a while, with darkness well set in, you arrive in the trailer park once again, pulling up outside of Eliza's. Do you give any kind of notice to Chloe or Eliza that you're coming, or do you just show up there?
No, I'll text them.
Okay. So as you do arrive, you can see Chloe is sitting on the steps to the porch that leads in, but as she sees Regina pull in, she stands up quickly and immediately starts making her way over to the car.
I'll climb out, carrying the food. You want some food?
She takes the bags out of your hand and sets them on the hood of the Jeep and then grabs you into a hug.
I'll lay my head on her shoulder and start crying.
You did the right thing, Jess.
I know. But it hurts so much.
She holds you as you cry, eventually taking you inside or sitting on the steps outside, wherever you choose to end up. With that, we'll transition to Aiden. Aiden, it's been about a week at this point. You have helped Terrance make the arrangements to leave, along with Aspen's assistance, to get all the paperwork and Artie to help smooth things over from the digital realm with this school. Aiden is officially, Terrance is officially unenrolled, or at least on temporary academic leave. And you have begun the trip to Georgia. How are you heading that way? Are you going on foot? Are you going for a good run, or are you taking transportation?
We're going on a run.
Okay. So it's been about a day or two of you traveling at this point, making steady progress towards Georgia. You're probably nearing the border now, and Eliza's giving you proper instructions as to how to find the Sept, where their main gathering point is. And on one particular night, as you're moving through the woods of inland Florida, Terrance stops and looks towards you over in lupus form with conflicted eyes, looking back the direction you came from, then back at you. After
Oh, sorry.
after a couple moments, he shifts out of lupus form into Hamid form and finds himself sitting at the bottom of a tree, naked as the day he was born, but seemingly not to care about it.
Go into his Hamid form, walk over to him, and kind of kneel down, like, all right, what are you feeling?
Eliza told me how I would learn easier and wouldn't be a liability if I went and did this and didn't give you too much of a fuss about it. But what if the others aren't like you guys? Like, it's been great knowing you, but you you're my only friends. What if they're not friendly?
All right, Terrance, you are part of a bigger world now, and you are Guru. Therefore, those of the nation, they may not be friendly, but they will have some form of respect for you. You'll make friends. You're going to find people there that will be able to assist you in a safer place. And you'll always have us back in Tampa. Okay? We're gonna be there. You can always come and visit, or if you want to come back after you've got a couple years under your belt, that's totally all right. We'll always have a spot for you. I'll make sure of it.
Everything's changing so quickly. I mean, just a week ago, I was going to school, I was helping out at the zoo, and now I'm leaving. And what about the wolves in the zoo? I mean, they don't like anybody the way they like me, and I just don't want them to think that I left them, that I didn't want them or didn't. I don't know if they're as smart as we are. I mean, I have to assume so. Look at you, but
Tell you what, I will. I'll go talk to the wolves. I'll let them know what's going on. Give them a heads up on what's happened to you. I can communicate that to them. So, if or when you come back, you can come see them. And then I'm sure they'll be super happy to see you. They got long term memories. They'll remember who you are.
is it really as dangerous there as you say? As they say, as Eliza says?
Uh, yeah. There are things there that are stronger than they seem. And they take a form that seems weak, one that you think that you should be able to overcome. And they use that against you. And they are strong, they are smart. And the things that they will do in order to get what they want, the lack of that human side of things is missing. They don't care about anything but themselves. And if you're in their way, they won't stop to just kill you. And I can't have that happen to you. So that's why we're having you go to someone that's safer.
Well, what about you? What about the others? What about Aspen and Jester and Artie? Like, if it's so dangerous, what if something happens to you guys? I appreciate that you're saying you're always going to be there in Tampa, but if it's that bad, don't you need all the help you can get? Why aren't the others from up north coming to help you?
Tampa, I think Aspen said it best when she said it's complicated. The the nation has turned its back on Tampa. We're trying to bring it back. We're staying because that is what Gaia has. She asked us to do this, and we are responding to the call.
Not asking any of the others to do it?
They are being
Why?
called to something else. And yes, we do need all the help we can get, but you are a 1-week-old pup. The rest of us have a few years under our belt. We know how to control the changes. We know how to use the anger that we have.
I'm a quick learner.
I know you are, and you're doing great. And with you learning so quickly, I'm sure you can get back to Tampa sooner. But I can't be the teacher that you need and be able to fight in this war zone that's there. You need someone who can dedicate more time to you to get you to the guru that I know you can be. I can't be that for you right now.
I'm not asking you to be.
No, but I need to be that for you. I can't have a little pup next to me all the time, especially if these creatures show up. I can't fight 100% if I'm worried about you as well.
That makes sense. I get that. Just. It was nice not being alone for a little bit, and I'm sure these others are going to be nice too. It was really exciting having new friends and a new place and being able to actually feel like someplace that wasn't the zoo was a home. Someplace without security guards and tourists and cameras and bars and just feel like I'm having my first day of kindergarten again. First day of school or moving to a new foster family. I mean, are they going to also just decide to ship me somewhere else because they are having too many issues or they can't teach me right? This just feels like the foster system all over again.
I'm not too versed on the foster system, but Eliza says that there are people in Georgia who can help, and they shouldn't be passing you off. The reason we're doing it is because the area that we're in. They haven't had issues like this for I think Eliza said almost 10 years. So that's a safe place for you to learn to understand what it means to be who you are, to be a theurge, to become that guru. Trying to make a guru in a war zone can make an angry guru, that constant anger. And if that is something that we're exposed to too much, that wolf that I talked about last week, that takes over. And that's just you. You are gone. And there's the other side of it where the wolf just goes, where you don't want to fight anymore. You lose that reason to be doing that. And that's the other side of it. It's hard to get you to stay where you're in control of the wolf and wanting to be in the fight. but I can't have you into the heart of a fight and teach you those things, because it's going to falter one way or the other just for how young you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It all makes sense. I mean, I get why you're doing it, and I don't want to be the thing that actually does get you hurt. I just feel like there's got to be something I can do. There's got to be some way I can contribute and help, and not
There
just
is.
be
You going and doing the theurge stuff, learning about the Umbra. That's stuff that I can't teach you. Eliza can, but she's trying to mentor us in this area. Over there, you're going to become amazing. You're going to do Joseph, our theurge in the pack. He can do crazy stuff, like really, really cool. I don't really have to get it a whole bunch, but you're going to be able to do stuff like that. You're going to learn all these rituals and stuff, and then you're going to learn about Guru history, learn about where it came from, and how to control all those things. And I get that you don't want to be alone. I understand that. I was alone for a long time. So I know the feeling that you're trying to avoid, but you won't be alone. You will always have the Guru. That's part of you now. You are the wolf. Okay?
okay.
Just remember that. Whenever you feel alone, just know that there are a lot of us out here. You're never alone ever again. And you have my number now. If you ever need someone or just someone to talk to, or if things start hitting the fan in Georgia, I'll talk to Aspen and we'll see what we can do. All right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. It's a lot to happen in a very short period of time, and it's just feels familiar and strange at the same time. And my past experiences haven't been good.
Well, from what I've been told is talking about your feelings is helpful. It helps you understand and work through them. Something like that.
Yeah.
And you always be my easiest kinseek. So you're never gonna forget you. Yeah?
I don't know what that means yet, but I'm honored, I guess.
Out of what could have happened, what happened with you, amazing. That was great. If I could have 50 of those, I'd love that.
Hey, that doesn't make me feel very unique.
All right. You are unique. All right. I was able to tell that you were kin without actually doing my ritual. So that is very unique to you. You gave off Guru without any additional pieces.
I knew when we first met there was something special about you before I even knew that you could do all this now. You were different, and that's what made it very cool to meet and know you. And even though I feel like we're just still getting to know each other, thank you. Thank you for not running away. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for making it so easy, because I don't know what I would have done if this had happened and if I was by myself.
Aiden will reach his hand forward and kind of rest it on his shoulder and put his forehead to his. Hey, I got you whenever you need me. Okay?
Okay.
We have something, a bond between us that can't be broken. All right?
Okay.
pull his head away. All right, but we have
We got a lot longer to
we have a
go. I
lot of
know.
ground to cover. But we could have drove, but I don't know how to drive.
Why would
So
you
I
drive when you can have 4 legs and run?
no one else gets it.
It's the best feeling in the world. I've never felt so free and unbridled and at home. I swear I think I was born the wrong, well, maybe now the right way, but just the wind in your hair, the earth underneath your feet, it just feels right.
Being the wolf is nothing against humans. Being a wolf just makes sense. Everything just falls into place.
Yeah. All right, let's go. He
All right.
pushes himself up from the tree, and actually, you see him wipe a tear or two away from his eyes. But after a few moments, he shifts back down into his wolf form and starts running again through the woods. Takes about another day or two before you reach Georgia and then finally the cairn. But as you arrive, you are greeted by several other Guru, more than you've probably ever seen outside of a moot in one place, who converse with you, entreat you, feed you, give you a place to stay for the night before having you and Terrance part ways and sending you back on your way south. They offer for you to have transport, but with the parting being bittersweet as it is, knowing that you fulfilled your duty, but also having to say goodbye to somebody who has started to develop a close kinship with you, you choose to run, making your way back towards Tampa, towards the Worm. Something about being out of Tampa and in that Georgia cairn felt so calming and peaceful. The place felt safe, it felt secure, and it felt like Gaia was alive. But looks can often be deceiving in the world of Guru. Now we're going to transition to our final scene of the evening. Aspen and Jester. Both of you have experienced loss. A lot of loss. It seems more than others within the pack recently. Aspen, with the loss of Rachel and of Ryder. Jester, with the loss that was your choice of Leon, and also the loss of Ryder. Trauma can bring people together in a way that can be extremely toxic if not managed appropriately, but also it can be extremely healing. So on this particular night, the two of you are together alone for the first time in a very, very long time. Jester, you'd been checking in on Aspen through Artie, and eventually an invitation was extended for you to come to the apartment and visit. When you arrived, Artie met you outside and said, "It's good," and
Yeah.
then let you in before taking Regina out for a drive of his own, as people have been borrowing his car a lot lately, and he hasn't gotten to spend a lot of one-on-one time with Regina. But as you go inside, the apartment is clean, it is organized, it is very A-type, and the scene is yours.
Wow. It was just
Oh,
a struggle to get him to clean.
well, you know. I like my space how I like my space.
Right.
Well, how sit down. Yeah,
Okay.
let's
Yeah. You want to order a pizza or something?
absolutely I want to order a pizza. She pulls out her phone. Anything specific?
No, whatever.
Okay. just go with classic pepperoni. That's always Aiden's go-to. So
Sounds good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm working it out. How are you?
Managing. I'm really sorry about Rachel. You might have been right, and I'm sorry if my mess hurt your friends and hurt her. And, I mean, I know sorry does not even come close to making up to it, and I don't think I ever will. But if there's anything you ever want me to do, I'll try my best to do it.
It was never your fault, Jester. We're dealing with things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to your friends. And that's what happened to Ryder. And that wasn't your fault either. And I think I said a lot of things that I didn't mean because I was angry at myself for letting that happen to you.
I said some things I didn't mean either.
I don't think you're selfish.
Thanks.
Far from it, honestly.
Can I hug you?
Yeah.
I'll reach in and give her a hug.
She'll lean into it, not even hesitating.
Though seriously, if you do need anything, let me know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, right? Like, we keep losing people.
Yeah. Sucks. I broke up with Leon a couple days ago.
Why?
He doesn't deserve any of this, and I can't tell him about it. And the vampires aren't going to stop.
I agree, and that would have been really tough. I'm sorry you had to do that.
Yeah. He had a ring.
Oh, isn't that the worst?
Yeah.
I will say, you learn a lot living with Artie, you know?
Yeah.
Some good, some bad. But I think I've learned being who we are, it comes with a lot of loss. And you never know when those losses are coming, right?
No.
But sacrificing the moments, the good ones, because of it, it's not a life.
No, it's not. And it sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of like to talk about something happy. So,
Okay.
about you and Artie.
Yeah.
That's a thing now, right? Like that's a thing that you're willing to admit now.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not obvious.
Oh, it's obvious.
No, it's really good. It's actually, it's been a lot of good amongst a lot of shit. So,
Good. You deserve it. Artie deserves it.
And you deserve to be happy too. We all do.
Yeah, I'll probably get there eventually.
I know we haven't had the best go as of recent after Ryder and everything, and we bump heads a lot. But I'm always here for you. I know you have Chloe, and that's great, but you know, I'm always here for you.
Thanks. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that the pack is here. Yeah, I have Chloe, and I'm so thankful I still have Chloe. But I really am glad the pack is here.
Me too. Band of misfits just all stuck together.
Right?
The unlikely duo, I guess, or group, just fighting Gaia in a bunch of shitstorms.
Quintet? Nah, I like group better. Yeah. In the shitstorm.
I think it'll get better though. We have to believe it gets better, yeah.
Yeah. We definitely have to believe it gets better. And fight for making it better.
Right. And we're stuck with all those boys whether we like it or not. So,
Ugh.
you know.
I hope Aiden's doing all right.
Oh, he's probably having the time of his life. He's running. He's probably, you know, hanging out with others, running around in his lupus form, stealing people's
burgers.
food. Yep.
Stealing burgers.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
No, he probably is enjoying the time back too, on his own.
Yeah.
I bug him a lot, so.
I bug him a bit too. I'm trying to teach him to play video games, but he gets so pissed off that we just end up in a physical fight.
I mean, he probably does that on purpose, so you do end up in a physical fight because he loves that.
I kind of do it on purpose too, just because I'm trying to like learn more, and I
Well,
need practice. Yeah.
well, good thing we got you two together. Bunch of rowdy wolves making my life crazy.
You love it.
I do. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So, what are your plans now? I don't mean for
know.
the pack, like you are just like in life in general.
Well, I enrolled in school again, so I have that. I don't know if I have a job.
Do you want a job with them?
No, absolutely not. But I'm of two minds. You know, getting an in, having information, but I doubt that'll happen. If anything, it'll go the other way around where, I'll put myself in a precarious situation where they get information out of me, and that's even worse. So I don't think there's any winning there.
Yeah, that seems like a very rough situation. But congrats on going to school again.
Thanks.
You looking to be a full-time lawyer and not just paralegal?
That is the hope, if I can get through school with everything else we have going on. But I made a promise, so I got to keep it.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, Jester?
I don't know, really. I told Leon that I was trying to live two lives, which was true. It really was. But at this point, I think the one life is gone, pretty much. So maybe I'll just concentrate on the other, learn more about what happened with the Sept, become a better Galliard.
Write some stories.
Yeah, write some stories.
We're gonna need lots of stories after all the stuff we do.
Yeah. I'm currently working on writer's story.
Oh, okay. You think you might have that ready when we finish the cairn? Inevitably, hopefully, you know.
Maybe not all of it, but I hope to have a majority of it, a good one. I can at least have his last stand. And so it was weird, my penance thing, right? Um, I didn't just see what happened to Ryder. I felt his thoughts and his memories. And I don't know, they've kind of stuck with me ever since. So um, that'll probably be added to it.
That's a unique blessing, I think. The way, in a way, he'll always be around with us.
Yeah. In his last moments, he overcame the hogwask. He felt peace.
Good. Happy. He deserved it.
He did.
And we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that all of this loss and all of this is worth it.
Yep. Yeah, we are.
Love you, Jess.
Aspen. I'll take her hand and squeeze it.
Loss is a terrible thing. It can tear someone apart from the inside, like a piece of paper gradually ripping over time until it completely separates one in two. Two individuals experiencing loss, processing grief in a healthy way is like a roll of tape that can bind two separate sheets of paper together. It can make it stronger, it can reinforce it. While the tears are never truly gone, the piece of paper isn't worthless. It isn't discarded. It can be mended. It can be made whole again. If anything, it can be made better than whole as it is reinforced. Finally, we transition to an office high up in the building belonging to Ballard, Anderson, and Bateman, the law firm. Edward Bateman sits behind his desk, as he is often found, going over some legal briefs when there's a knock at the door. He looks up. Come. The door opens, and a woman in a very formal business attire, a short miniskirt that comes down just above her knees, a low-cut blazer, makes her way in, the sound of heels clacking off of the tile floor. Mr. Bateman. He looks up, and you are? My name is Miss Smith. We've never had the pleasure of meeting, but some time ago, my associates and I did business with your boss. He made use of some of our services to help take care of a little problem you were having in the city. A problem with an infestation of sorts. I just wanted to come to you and ask if you had any need of our services or if there was anything you want. He looks at her with a stone-cold gaze. Tell me what you're really here for, as he tries to activate Dominate. She simply smiles, reaches into the pocket of her coat, and holds out a business card and says, "When you're ready to stop playing games, give me a call." And the business card says, Jessica Smith, Pentex. And with that, we will bring our session to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players for playing in tonight's story. Thank you so much to everybody watching at home. The situation always feels like it's one step forward, two steps back. But we'll see what kind of new threats this brings to the ever-mounting tension in the city of Tampa. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all the social media listed down below. Go follow these incredible players and stay tuned to St. Pete by Night. This week we have a episode of What the Hell Is That on Friday, our Hunter the Reckoning Chronicle. On Saturday we have Miss Magitech, a huge TikTok influencer who helps with Vampire the Masquerade themed content. And then we're going to be back here next Tuesday with the next episode of Rage Across Tampa. For those who aren't aware, Bloody Strings and Don't Get Caught are taking a little bit of a hiatus, but I can tell you coming soon to YouTube, there is a YouTube exclusive chronicle known as Mementos that will be airing the first week of May. Also, if you're a podcast listener, go look on your podcast platform for St. Pete by Night, because we are going to be releasing all of the old episodes in a podcast format. So you can go follow us on your favorite podcast provider. If it's not there yet, I guarantee you it will be soon enough. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.